Today on Fertility TV, we're diving deep into the 9 things that you need to know when trying to conceive. Whether you're just starting this journey or have been on it for a while, these key 9 insights will not only empower you, but also guide you towards a healthy pregnancy. In case you're new here, welcome to Fertility TV. This is the place to be when trying to get pregnant, improve your health, and get to the root cause of your fertility struggles. I've helped thousands of women improve their fertility and get pregnant over the last 20 years that I've been a fertility expert. I've helped them by finding out what's not letting them get pregnant, developing a personalized plan for them, and giving them ongoing support while they follow the plan to improve their health and fertility. Before we start with the 9 things that you need to know when trying to conceive, make sure to download the free guide that I've created for you so you can start improving your fertility now at home, totally free. Just download it right here using the link in the description below. All right, let's get started. Tip number 1, age does matter, but not as much as you think. It's not the main reason why you're not getting pregnant. And I know that everyone puts this emphasis on age because they use age as this guide, these markers that determine your success rate and what treatment you should receive. And again, I'm not saying that age is not important, but age is the only thing you can control and you can change. That's right. Everything else that you need to do to address fertility and to support yourself can be improved and can be changed. Age cannot. So when it comes to your fertility, I want you to understand how your age impacts things and what else is really important. So actually, I want to start there. I want to start with what else is really important because that's everything. You have to look at the big picture. You have to look at the entire picture, your hormones and what they're telling you, your overall health and what it's telling you. Any area, any system in your body that is not functioning properly, and support it. It needs to be addressed. You need to take care of the lifestyle factors. You need to take care of the things that you can actually control and influence. That is number 1. And that is by far more important than age. Where age really comes into play is in making decisions. It's what I call the time factor. Because depending on your age, it will either shrink your time or expand, give you plenty of time. And let me explain that by an example. I had a member in the program and she's 33. And I had another member in the program and she was 41. 2 different ages, right? They had very similar presentations. They had high FSH, low AMH, and they had slightly irregular cycles. But the way you approach that with each one of them is very, very different. The one that's 41 has to make decisions in a much shorter time frame because of the impact of time on her overall journey and the options available to her and when she should move forward with those. The one that was 33 had plenty of time. So we focused on her plan first, and we said, let's give this easily 6 to 12 months before we make any additional decisions in terms of a path, because she didn't have a rush on anything. And that's where age and time really play a role on your fertility journey. Tip number 2, IVF is not the best and not the only next step when you are trying to conceive. So I say it in that way because often what happens, or what you read and what you watch and what you interpret from that information, is that IVF will get us pregnant and it's the best chance for us and it's the next step that we need to take because we haven't been pregnant. So I think that really varies from individual couple and based on circumstances, age, time, and diagnosis. These are all variables that play into this process. We've become very comfortable with IVF, which is great. It serves a really important place and is really, really helpful. However, it's not the only treatment. And for many of you, it's not the best treatment. I believe that anywhere between 50 to 70% of couples who go towards IVF never ever needed it and have done it prematurely, which tells me that these couples could have tried other things. The reason we end up going to IVF is because our OB tells us that's really the next step, or you heard from a friend, oh, you've been struggling, maybe the situation's similar, and they said, well, I did IVF, so you choose IVF as well. There's nothing wrong with IVF. I just feel like many of you just don't need it. So I want to encourage you to get real answers, to get real information on your situation, to determine if for you as an individual, based on your circumstances, your history, your diagnosis, your age, your time, all of these variables, if IVF is really the best choice for you and the next step for you. And that's really what I want you to do. I don't want you to make that assumption. I want to make sure that it's a real choice and it is the best next step for you. Okay, number 3, that's right, lab work. Lab work is important and essential and needs to be comprehensive. You've heard me say this over and over, but I'm going to say it again. Without understanding what your body is going through and what your labs are telling you, you're missing a lot of information. And your lab work is going to tell you what's going on with your hormones at a deep level so that you have the proper information to make the proper decisions moving forward. So that's why it's so important, because it tells you about you and your hormones and what is going on with your fertility. How to get those labs? Well, hopefully your OB or your REI will order all of those for you. But what I will tell you from 20 years of experience is odds are that's not the case. So you may need to find somebody else who's going to be able to order those labs for you. Many of you, especially in the United States and in other countries, can actually order many of these things on your own, which is amazing, an awesome option, but you need to make sure you're ordering the right things, which is why I want to remind you to download my free guide. Use that link in the description below, because I have a complete list of the lab work that you need in that guide, and I want to make sure you get it, and I want to make sure you have the right list so that you can get the right tests. I also have some links in there to help you, especially if you're in the US, on how to get that testing done on your own. Tip number 4, a semen analysis is mandatory or should be considered mandatory. I know for many of you, your partners think it's optional. They don't want to do it for whatever reason. They're uncomfortable. Their egos might even get in the way and they're just like, this is just not for me, or it's too awkward. I'm telling you, this is mandatory. There are no options here. Semen analysis is essential. It takes 2 to tango. Maybe you'll get tangled in that tango part, but it takes 2 of you to make this happen, right? We need sperm and we need egg. And more importantly, we need good sperm and we need good eggs. And we need those to come together to create a healthy embryo. That is why a semen analysis is mandatory and not optional. We need to know what's going on there. 50% of all fertility issues are male factor. And I'm not just saying that because it's 50% of the equation, right? There's 2 of you. I'm saying that because factually, 50% of all fertility issues are male factor. So if you don't know what that is, what that information is telling you, you have to get it done. And if you've done it years ago, you've got to redo it. If your partner has had children in the past, it does not mean that the sperm are healthy now. We still need to test his sperm. We still need to know what's going on. So absolutely, it's essential and mandatory to have that done. Okay, I love this one. This is number 5. What worked for your sister, your friend, your neighbor might not work for you. That's right. Just because your sister, your neighbor, your best friend went to see a specific doctor, did a specific thing, ran around the block and they got pregnant, whatever it is, doesn't mean that that's going to be the right next step for you. And that's why having an individualized plan, an individualized, personalized support for you is so important. Yes, I don't know what they did. I don't know what their circumstances were, and I don't know how or why they got pregnant. What I can tell you is maybe some of the things that they're doing are helpful for you, but probably not everything that they're doing. So you need a comprehensive, individualized, personalized plan for your specific needs, which is why we need to know what's going on. It's going to be based on your age, your lab work, your husband's semen analysis. All of these things are going to impact your plan and how you move forward, which is why you need to get that done. So as much as they're being helpful and you love them and they mean the best for you, it's not always in your best interest. So I want to make sure that you understand that and that you are able to get the care that you need and not the care that they needed for themselves. Number 6, if you don't feel like your doctor is listening to you or understands where you're coming from, then you need to find a different doctor. I just spoke to a member of my program, and I hear this all the time. Yeah, so that, I went and spoke to them, and then the doctor just told me, that I needed IVF or I needed to take this medication. And it didn't feel like he listened to anything else that I said. I didn't really get a good explanation about anything. He didn't tell me why I was having these issues. If you're experiencing that, then you might need to speak to somebody else. If you've been working with someone and you feel like, maybe that's run its course, they haven't been able to give me the information that I need. They listened in the beginning, but maybe they're not listening now because they're so set in their ways. You need to find a different option. So I encourage all of you to get a second opinion or even a third opinion. And more importantly, you need to speak to someone who has a totally different perspective. That might be, if you're working with an IVF doctor, it might mean that you need an IVF doctor that has a different perspective on things. That might not be easy to find. If you are working with an IVF doctor and you want a more natural perspective to balance things out, that's where I can help you, and that's where my program can help you. We understand different circumstances and needs, and we've seen it all over the 20 years. And so we know how to guide you and how to help you advocate for yourself so you can get the care that you need. Okay, number 7, eating healthy might not be enough. That's right. And more importantly, it might not be what you need. That eating healthy is not bad, but is that exactly what you need? So more specifically, I think that you need a personalized plan nutritionally and for your supplements based on your individual needs and your lab work, more importantly. That's right. So is eating healthy generally okay? Absolutely. But eating, let's just say, a paleo diet versus a keto diet versus intermittent fasting versus a vegetarian diet versus a vegan diet versus an autoimmune diet, these are all different types of diets, and I just named a few, right? That's just like a handful. But more importantly, how about within each one? Like if you ate a paleo diet, is everyone who eats a paleo diet eating the exact same way? No, and you shouldn't. Because even though that might be the outline, the general framework that you have to work within, we could take 5 different individuals and they're going to be eating slightly differently within this diet plan based on their specific needs, culturally where they were raised, their diagnosis, their lab work. So that not only happens with diet, but happens with supplements as well. I think a great example of that is women with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. If we take 5 women with PCOS, they might all be on slightly different supplements or some different combination of those differently for all 5 of them based on the reason, the root cause for their PCOS and any secondary findings, any secondary diagnoses that are there. So you need a personalized plan for you to get the results that you're looking for. Number 8, stopping life and obsessing won't get you pregnant faster. Ask for support and let that burden go to somebody else so that you can just follow that framework. Many of us actually, what we end up doing is that we stop everything, right? Like, oh, I can't go on vacation. I can't see friends. I have to just do this 24 hours a day so I can get pregnant. That's not going to help you. We need balance. And more importantly, we need support. So I want to encourage all of you to get the proper support that you need so that you can achieve the goals that you're looking for. And don't stop living life. There are vacations for a reason. They're healthy for you. Take them. Spend time with friends and family. They're there to support you, but make sure they're with people who actually support you and that you enjoy spending time with. Don't ignore those things. Number 9, how do I know that I need to improve egg quality? This is such an amazing question and an important question. This all comes down to, by the way, your personalized evaluation and assessment, looking at your lab work, your medical history, your diagnoses. All of these are going to add up to tell us, do you really need egg quality supported? That's right. Now, most of you assume that egg quality is what you need, and that's why so often that's the approach that's taken. You might not ever need egg quality supported. It might be something else with your endocrine system, or it might be stress, but that's what you're focusing on is egg quality. I would guess that about 30 to 40% of you actually are treating and supporting egg quality and you don't even need it. But for those of you who do need it, then we need to make sure that you are taking the right things, which is why myself and 2 other fertility experts, Amy Raup and Dr. Murphy, created 3 amazing new fertility supplements. And because we're talking about egg quality, that's what I'm going to talk about right now. We created a product called Rejuva Eggs, and I'm going to leave that link in the description below to help improve your egg quality and ovarian function. And in addition to that, we created a second product called Rejuva Repair, which is targeted antioxidants to support mitochondrial health and function and enhance the effects of Rejuva Eggs. And you can take those together to improve your egg quality, ovarian function, and help you get pregnant. And if that's something that you're interested in, again, I'm going to leave that link in the description below so you can check it out. All right, if you really want to go deep into your fertility and find the root cause that's not allowing you to get pregnant, then I want you to fill out the application as soon as possible by using the link in the description below. It just goes to marksklar.com/discovery call, where you get to speak to a real person on my team, a real human who you can talk to and who's going to help you identify what the next best steps are for you and see if you are a good fit to join me in my Hope Fertility program. If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you need to be, so hit that bell to subscribe and get notified when I put out another video for all of you. And more importantly, I want to hear from you. Comment below and let me know which one of these 9 tips was most valuable for you and why. Now, make sure to check out these other videos where you can learn more about your fertility. And I explained how a 42-year-old woman was able to get pregnant. And I will see you in the next video. Stay fertile.